Don't worry, we're feeling a lot better, as you can see. Wow. And Canadians, too. Let's hear it. So you guys have worked on this for quite a while. What gave you the impetus, the idea to do this, to make this film?
I mean, basically 3 years ago we had finished 4 short films and we thought it was time for us to do a feature. And we had written this feature, but it was this giant action movie and we just thought there's no way anyone is going to give us bazillions of dollars to make a movie when nobody knows who the hell we are. So we decided, okay, look, let's take it back, do something we could execute on an amount of money that we could raise ourselves. And that's when we thought, okay, well actually Derek tells us part of the story. This is Derek's part of the story.
So about 3 years ago in spring, we were throwing ideas around. We had things like, zombie movies, things you can do on a low budget for fun. And Cliff just throws out, hey, why don't we make a vampire documentary? And my first knee-jerk reaction was, that is the stupidest idea ever. And then I thought, like midway through that sentence, I'm like, actually, that could be a ton of fun because we get to do all the action horror beats that we want, but do it in that sort of found footage documentary style where you get to cheat and do a lot of camera tricks and play with what you see and what you don't see so that we can tell a huge story, a huge genre story, but in a budget that we can manage.
I mean, so you guys were like, where did you shoot all this? So you got France, you got Italy. Like, how far did you actually go on your travels?
We started out in Italy. Most of the shooting takes place in Italy, and then Barcelona and Paris. Just like we went everywhere we said in the film, and basically the reason why this film could be made was because the concept of the film, being documentary style, meant we could shoot it with a small crew, but you had to have the greatest small crew on the planet, which we have, and a lot of them are here tonight. So.
Like literally 7 people at any given time. I think the smallest we ever had was like Cliff, me, the sound guy, the director of photography. Tamar would be back at base camp. I don't know where Tamar is. She's around here somewhere.
Our amazing makeup artist, yeah.
Stand up, Tamar.
Actually, I think everyone who worked on the film, like Graham, Tamar, Chris, Zach, our producers, Zach and Ada were here. Jesse, our production manager.
Everyone had to wear multiple hats, otherwise you're never going to get it done. And we were so humbled by the amount of hard work and effort that everyone put into it.
And sort of the emblematic of that story is our editor, Greg, who isn't here, was also our boom map writer at times and our props man simultaneously. And in the scene where Derek punches the guy and he flies over the car, it's Greg pulling on the cable on the other side of the car. So, we love you, Greg.
Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes.
Yeah, of the locations in Italy, how many of them were planned sets? How much was guerrilla? It's specifically in the restaurant where you throw up everywhere?
That's actually really nice because that was a closed down restaurant. We actually bribed the guy officially paid him to open up again, and we just sort of populated it ourselves and made it feel like it was active and useful, and it was in the most stunning location you could possibly imagine, so it really took care of itself. But to answer your question, most locations were, I'd say about half of them actually were like official, and then the other half were, we'll see how it goes, and hopefully we'll get the footage and hopefully we won't get run out pickups.
People were so enthusiastic there. Like, no one had ever filmed there before, so everyone sort of took ownership, and like the people who were like serving us food were also the people, like the girl who he throws up on was actually the girl who worked at the coffee shop where we lived, and like next to where we lived. And the awesome thing was with her is like in that shot where Derek pukes on her, it was just like we weren't getting a big enough reaction because she's not an actress, and finally it was just like, Derek, just puke on her feet. And that's the one that ended up in the movie.
Did you have any times where you did get kind of chased away by police or shut down like you?
Paris subway, that's not a safe place to shoot. It's not smart, wouldn't recommend it. The one advantage of shooting in rural Italy actually is like you can imagine shooting in say Vancouver or Toronto with an ambulance. You need to rent the ambulance, you need to rent cops, you need to tell the entire area of the 10-block radius that you're going to do this. In rural Italy, you can get an ambulance, 2 real paramedics, a blocked off street, and they'll clean up the blood for you for €200.
And teach you how to drive stick, which I did not know how to do.
Very good deal.
And did you have like Canada flags on your backpacks and everything? Did that help?
Amazingly, we did not. I'm ashamed to say that. We probably should have like played the Canadian card harder, but since our backpacks were actually our props, we actually couldn't just like put any logos and things like that on them, so we had to keep it real simple.
Do we have anyone else? Yeah.
You guys were amazing as vampires, very convincing, but please tell us all about your beautiful and deadly co-star, Bea.
Baya Reyes is an, I think she's Algerian or Tunisian, can't remember. I'm a jerk. Anyway, she's an incredibly talented actress that we hired out of Paris, and she was the most dedicated, most hardworking, and she was a lot of fun to work with. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to sort of play her against type a little bit. That's why we picked something a little more exotic looking, so you wouldn't sort of peg her right away as this, stunning, gorgeous vampire type. And then by the time you find out at the end, there's a quality to her, there's a visceral, emotional nature to who she was and the kind of performance she'd give that really, she only has 2 scenes essentially. And so we needed her to nail the living daylights of the last one, and we got that in her, we're really happy.
And who else do we have here? Don't be shy. Yes, the side.
I want to ask about the special effects and specifically the blood effects that you used in the film and how that was achieved.
Any particular moment you're thinking of, or just in general?
Just in general, basically.
I mean, that headshot, like.
So that
There's some stuff where like just the camera doesn't flinch, like it's there, you see it. It's just,
So that one, I mean, Tamar made all the blood in the movie herself. Some
Carried
crazy.
it from Vancouver
That's right.
to Europe. We couldn't make it there. Like,
Yeah, that's right. And specifically in the shotgun scene, what we did is because that was a visual effect shot as well, there was a blood cannon behind the chair that Derek's in. Boom, it goes up there. But then we enhanced the visual effect afterwards because we're going to do, when the head closes there. We enhance the blood, so hopefully it draws your eyes. You're watching the blood coming down the wall, and then all of a sudden it leaps out at you.
that shot, the suicide scene in particular, is one of those like we had to pull out every trick we knew to make that work. And to have it feel like a Wonder without cuts. Like we hit a blood cannon behind me, and the trigger was on the gun, which I had to activate myself. There was a prosthetic on my head, so I couldn't turn left or right. So it was just insane, like to make that work.
super controlled. Well, what about like the jumping when you first go out doing the test on the big jumping? So you like come down, like there's like so much stuff.
Oh, the big leap off the building?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a two-part shot. No, 3-part
For the
shot.
whole jump test?
Yeah, the big jump, so the big leap at the very end, the launch of one sequence, and then